Knoyer from Knoyer Garden Center. I'm here today to talk about container gardening. We have our container gardening seminar this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can come in anytime between 10 and 5 and plant up a 12-inch floor container. Your floor container will look like this, has plenty of drainage holes in it. You can use it as a drop pot or set in your front patio, would look very nice. And you will also get, you're going to get a container, you're going to get the container full of dirt, so you're going to have dirt, and you're going to get plants. And you're going to have 4 choices of sun combos, and you're going to have 2 choices of shade combos. And today I'm going to plant up the one called Botanical Bouquet. And I have my plants right here, and you're going to get plants like this also. I'm going to put 10 plants in this container. And I'm going to start with my Mohawk grass. I'm going to put him in the center here and kind of put a little dirt around him. And then I'm going to make a triangle. And I'm going to plant my 3 Vista fuchsia. They're going to look like this, fuchsia petunias next, because they're pretty vigorous, so I think I want to put them in the middle. And I'm only going to plant these the depth that they already are. I don't want to go above them, and I don't want this to stick up, so just kind of the same depth. Then I'm going to split my triangle. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to get my super bells. And I have Holy Cow super bells in this combo. And I'm going to plant 1 here, and 1 here, and 1 here. So I've almost got completed. Then I have a verbena. I have a white out verbena that I'm going to plant last. And I like to plant it last because I like the verbenas to drape down and over the edges. And these are little plugs. This is how we start everything here. And I want these to be little for you right now because you're going to leave this container here for 3 to 4 weeks and then come back to get it. And they are going to really grow. So we got to start out with babies right now. So I'm going to make another triangle. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So I've got 10 plants in this container, and that's what you're going to come in this weekend and do. So hopefully we will see you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'm going to put the tags in here so we know what this one is. So hopefully you will be able to come in. And then I want to talk about some of my product that I have. I have some finished product. Those were the little plugs. And then I have some finished product here I would like to talk about. The petunias. Petunias are something that are very easy to use for your containers for the spring and summer. We have, this one is a royal velvet. And he's a great color to put in your combinations because he really adds some dimension with that dark color. And these are all super petunias. The white always brightens up a container. And they're all very, they're full of bloom. They're going to give you a lot of color all summer long. This is a Vista fuchsia that I just now put in that container that I planted, and he's going to look like this for you for color. And the Vistas are very vigorous. And one of my favorite Vista is the Vista bubblegum, which I know everybody is familiar with. It's great in containers, it's great in your hanging baskets, and it's also great in the landscape. At my house, I have this in a lot of my landscape because I plant it and you don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to deadhead it. All I do is plant it, water it, and fertilize it. And it grows, and if it happens to rain, the blooms are back in 2 hours. So it's a wonder plant. It's just a really easy landscape flower to have. Or as I said, I like them in my containers too. So the petunias they're very hardy, they're very heat tolerant, they're very vigorous for you, and they're gonna show a lot of color. And then the next thing I like to talk about are the super bells. The super bells, I have 2 colors here for you to show right now. I have the Holy Moly, which is a yellow and a pink, and he is also heat tolerant, gives you a lot of bloom. And the yellow, it looks good with him because he's got a little yellow center there. The yellow is also something that will brighten up a container. So I love the super bells. They're going to be more mounding and just a little trailing. Your petunias are going to be very trailing. They're going to really trail down and over your containers. So I like to use both of them because they have a lot of color and they're very vigorous bloomers. The third thing I would put in a pot if you were concerned about what to pick up would be your verbenas. These verbenas have beautiful blooms to them. This one is called Sparkling Rose. I really like him. I use him a lot. And I have one called Sparkling Amethyst. Beautiful purple color. And for all of these, like these three things, if you put a petunia, a superbells, and a verbena in your container, it's going to be gorgeous, clear till fall. It's going to give you a lot of color, a lot of vigor, a lot of, it's just low maintenance also. You do not have to deadhead these proven winter flowers. Out in my landscape for my bubble gum, I have never deadheaded, and it always blooms. They will bloom even if you don't deadhead them. The reason I deadhead flowers, I deadhead my containers because I just like the looks of it. I do it for that reason, but they will bloom even if you don't deadhead. And a couple other things I have here is Diamond Frost. Diamond Frost is an upright plant, and it's real airy. And that's why I like to stick it in with something that's a little heavy, like the petunias are heavy, and if you stick the Diamond Frost with it, it just gives it a different look. So it's it's just a great plant, and it will look like this all summer also. The other plant I have here to show you is called Lemon Coral. It does not bloom, but it looks like this all summer long. People buy it for the color and the texture. This chartreuse color is really beautiful. It looks good in containers. I've got some containers of it. I have one container here. I wanted to tell you what I did this summer at my place is I made just a solid a container of just the lemon coral. And then when it became fall, I took my little orange pumpkins and just added pumpkins to my lemon coral, and it was really cute. So you can do a lot of things by decorating like that also. I use a lot of annuals just because of the color. I like all my color to show, but you can also use perennials, shrubs, tropicals, herbs, succulents, veggies. Veggies are great. Veggies, if you don't have garden space, you can plant a vegetable container garden for yourself outside your door. Just get maybe a big whiskey barrel and add a tomato, a pepper, a cilantro. You'll have a salsa pot. Or just plant your hot peppers, or you can plant your seeds. I want to show you the lettuce bowls we have. These lettuce bowls are ready to go right now. So hopefully if you come in this weekend, you will get your lettuce bowl. You would just take this, trim it off, and you're gonna have supper tonight. And it grows back really fast. So using your vegetables in your containers is great to have outside your door. Not everybody has a garden spot, so why not put it in a container? I want to show you some of the containers that I've planted. All of these that you can see around, I have planted up this past week, so you can see the color, you can see the containers, and probably one of the most important thing is you find a container that you like, but make sure it has drainage. If it doesn't have drainage, make sure you drill a hole. Like in all of mine, I drilled holes in the bottom. I drilled holes in everything. Like this little guy, I put 2 holes in here. So you have to have, for my spring and summer plantings, you have to have drainage because you're watering every day, the rain. These plants need drainage. And the next thing would be is to have a good soil. We love our soil here. We plant everything in this brochet, and we also sell it in retail bags. And your soil is very important because it needs to be light and airy like this. You don't want it to be hard and mucky or muddy because it needs to be able to dry out in between waterings. And then you need to have a good plant. So if you buy quality plants, so you've got your container, you've got your drainage holes, you've got some good dirt, now you're gonna buy a quality plant. So let's just pop this out and see what kind of root system we have. Look at the roots on this. They go clear to the bottom, they're hanging out, they're white, and that's what's important. You need a good root system. And if you wanted to plant this in something shorter, you can break this off, it doesn't matter. But making sure you have good roots is almost more important than making sure it has a bloom when you take it home, because it will bloom. So this airy dirt like this will just take right off in this fluffy dirt. I just love our soil that we have. And we have, every plant comes with tags. Just pull one out here. Our tags are very informative. They tell you on the back how to care, what they do, and what kind of sun they like. So if a tag says it likes full sun, it wants 6 to 8 hours of sun. If it says it wants partial sun, it wants 4 to 6 hours of sun. If it says shade on it, it actually doesn't mean it wants total shade. There's very few plants that will go in total shade and still bloom for you. So it wants 2 to 3 hours of morning sun if it says shade. We do have a plant that we sell here called Dragon Wings, and it will go in the full shade and still bloom. And it will go in the full sun and still bloom. So it's kind of a wonder plant, but not every plant is like that. So if your plants aren't blooming the way you think they should be, they're probably not getting enough sun. It's nice to keep these tags because then you can say either you like something, you didn't like something, or you can check back with, make sure you're getting them enough sun, and you can look at the care instructions on the back. So if I have a big container like this and I'm going to water, and you got your good plants in there, you got your soil, you got your containers, I want you to water first thing of a morning. Get in a habit of doing that. And that way you water it and they have a chance to dry out all day long. And that's what's very important. But if you come home and your plants are wilted at night, maybe just give it a little sip, a little drink of water just to get it by till tomorrow morning. Because if you put your plants to bed with wet feet, they're gonna stay wet all night long. And that's kind of when funguses might start coming into play. So best case scenario, water of a morning. And for fertilizer, we sell these fertilizer tablets, and they're very inexpensive. And I would put 4 of these in a 12-inch container. So the container I just planted up, you're gonna take these and you're just gonna push them down in the soil around the plants. And they last 6 to 9 months. So it's very important to fertilize your plants. If you don't wanna do these and you have your water-soluble fertilizer that you use at home, that's great. In the heat of the summer, where you're watering every day, you need to fertilize every 3rd watering. And that keeps feeding them because you're leaching out the soil a lot when you water in the summertime. But these are just a no-brainer. Put them in there, you're done. You buy a hanging basket from us, just get 4 of these for a 12-inch container. And for replacing the soil, I replace my soil in my containers every year. We dump them out and just put in new soil every spring. So I think that's very important. But if you have a big container and you don't want to take all the soil out, maybe dig down halfway and just get at least soil on the top half of your container. That would be good. And if you had problems with your planter the year before, I definitely dump it out, clean out the container, and then put new soil in. And they will definitely like that. And then about caring for the plants, in July sometimes, like maybe the first part of July, they kind of get long and leggy, and you need to just give them a haircut. So the big hanging baskets or a container like this that is just full and falling over, just take your scissors, trim around and trim it, give it a haircut. You're not gonna hurt it. It's gonna come back even bigger and fuller and more beautiful in about 2 weeks. So you'll have 2 to 3 weeks that you need to make sure you have plenty of time to give it. Otherwise, like right now, I have this verbena that I'm not gonna use this right now, so I don't need it big like this. So I'm just gonna pull it up like this, and I'm gonna give it a haircut. So I'm just gonna cut it like this, and yes, I'm cutting all the blooms off, which is fine, and I would take all the blooms off because I want the energy of this plant to go to the roots. So I'm gonna take all this off so it can build a bigger and better plant, and in 2 weeks, this is gonna be back into bloom. So really important to do that. And maybe you've got a sweet potato vine, you like to use them and they're in your containers, but they seem to take over. Just weekly go through there and snip just the ends of the sweet potato vine just to keep it under control. I promise you, you're not gonna hurt them by giving them haircuts and keeping them trimmed up. We have gardening idea books to hand out. So hopefully you'll come and we'll give you the new 2021 Proven Winner Gardening Idea Books. Now I'm gonna plant some containers for you. I have this container and I already drilled my holes in the bottom, and I've got some dirt in here. And my goal is that when I'm done, that I only leave it down 1 inch. If I leave it down farther, you always feel like you're looking down at your plants. So make sure it's just kind of a inch down at the most, and you only want to plant your plants the depth that they are. So I have, let's see, what do I have here? I've got a Diamond Frost, a yellow Super Bells, Holy Cow Super Bells. I think I'm going to put my Diamond Frost here in the middle. And pull him out, and I don't really need to take anything off the bottom, and I know some people like to break up the roots, but these are really nice tender roots, so they're gonna take right off. If you did break them up, it's fine. So I'm gonna dig a hole here and plant him, but I don't want him down too far, so I'm probably gonna have to keep adding soil. I've got a little soil here to add for my other ones. Okay, so that's my Diamond Frost. He's nice and airy. Then I have a yellow Super Bells. And I'm going to pull him out, and I'm going to dig a nice hole right here beside my Diamond Frost and put him here. And I'm going to put some dirt around him, a little extra dirt here. And then let's do the Vista Fuchsia Bubblegum to the side here. And he's got such nice roots. That's just so important to have a good root system. Let's plant him right here. I'm gonna put some dirt up and around him. Some dirt here. Isn't it fun? You'll be ready to come in and start planting up some of your containers. I'm so excited for spring. It's my favorite time of the year. And I'm going to put, I think I'm gonna put my little Super Bells here in the front, my Holy Cow. He's got some good roots here too, so I'm going to make another hole right here. Put him right like that. Some more dirt here. And I'm going to put, well, I think I'll do my lemon coral there in the middle. Lemon coral is just going to give him some good texture, a different color. It's always going to look like this. And the lemon coral will not get taller. If it does anything, it drapes down. The height you buy it at is the height it's going to be. It's not going to grow any taller than that. So I'm going to place him there. I'm going to get some more dirt to put around. So we have plenty of dirt in here. Lots of dirt is really important. If you have a really tiny container, you're going to end up watering it a lot more. The bigger the container, you can water it, and the watering's going to last longer for you. I'm going to put in my Fuchsia Super Petunia. I love these Super Petunias, but I can still feel I have a little hole here, so I want to get dirt, and I can take my fingers and just push down like this around the edge, because I do want to leave it down a little bit. Otherwise, when you go to water, it's just going to water right over the top. He needs pushed down just a little bit more. Push down, push down. And here I feel like I have, and I know everybody goes, how can you get that many plants in there? But I get a lot of plants in there because I think it looks, I want mine to look big and beautiful right now. So that's what I do, but I also do take off all these tags and we'll put it in the container. That way you have them for reference, and when I plant up containers for people, I always put the tags in so everybody can tell what's in here, and if they like it or they don't, or they want the same thing next year, they're good to go and they've got it. So that's what I do. So the next thing I would do is I'd water it really good, and then I would stick some of these fertilizer tablets in it, and then we would be good for the summer. 6 to 9 months, you're good to go with that fertilizer tablet. So I'm going to plant another container for you. I have a smaller container here. And again, I've got my holes in the bottom. Very important. We got some nice dirt in here. And I got some extra dirt here to keep filling in. Again, I have a Diamond Frost. This one's going to be more purple. So we have Diamond Frost, nice and airy plant. Getting taller, will not drape down. He's your height. So let's just plant him right here like this. And I think we will put him over here. This is my sparkling amethyst verbena, And that really, if you go with different leaf size, bloom size, it just gives your container a lot of interest and a lot of character when you can do different things in there, different looks of the blooms and the plant material and the leaves. So that's what I feel I have definitely with these two. And then I have the lemon coral, which I think I'm going to stick right in the front. Again, look at the roots, so nice. We will plant him right here. Push some dirt up and around. And our dirt is just so fluffy. It's just so easy to work with. We have lots of bags of it here, so hopefully if you need some when you come in this weekend, you can get some. Then I'm gonna use my Royal Velvet Petunia. And I felt like they were a little small for me right now, so I thought I would use two. So I'm gonna put him right here in this corner. And then I'm gonna add another one, because for me, if I see dirt, there's room for one more plant. So I'm gonna put one more plant in here. And then he's gonna be big and beautiful right now. And if I feel like I don't have room, then I can squish him like this. I can pull a little bit off the bottom like this. I just make it work into my container because I want to plant him in here. And I'll push the roots down in, and I have a nice full container. I'm gonna get my tags, so whoever takes this home, and it might be me, they can have it ready to go and they know what's in it. Here's the other one, let me find it. We love our proven winter flowers. They just really perform. I plant these in all of my containers at home. They're beautiful, I love them. It has a lot of texture, color, interest to it, and a fun container. Thank you for watching the video, and come see us soon.
Hi, I'm Valerie. I'm out in the perennials, trees, and shrubs. I'll be here all summer long to help you with your landscaping needs and to help you with any problems you may have in your yard. Stop in and see us. We can help you with landscaping needs. We can help you with any problems you might have and let you know what you might need to do to get everything going really well. We have grown a lot of our shrubs this year. This is one that is more recent. It's called Let's Dance Blue Jangles. Stays nice and short, compact, gives you color all through the season. It will either be a blue or a pink. We'll tell you what to do to get it into those colors. We have several of them on hand, so get in here early and grab them quick. This is also the time to pick out your bulbs and get them into the ground. We have a large variety of bulbs, anywhere from the ones that are spring only, summer only, to some that will come back year after year. There's a very wide selection and they're very colorful. We can let you know what you need to do to get them going and keep them going throughout their lifetime. We have vegetables in this year, potatoes, onions, asparagus, very wide selection including the organic varieties. So those have just recently come in. They're flying off the shelf, so you may want to sneak in here fairly soon. Now is the time to start prepping your yard for spring. Definitely get your mulch taken care of. We do have a special going on with it. Give us a call, we'll let you know what to do with it. It's anything that is a bulk material, which is the rock and the mulch. They'll let you know what you need to do to get it delivered for it. Also, you may want to start pre-treating some of your trees and shrubs. We do recommend Bio Advanced Tree and Shrub for most of your trees and shrubs, and the orchard spray for all of your fruit trees. If you have any questions, make sure you stop in and see us. Steve, myself, or Alex will be more than happy to help you out with any of your landscaping questions.
Hi, my name is Michelle here at Knoyer Garden Center, and today I want to tell you about some of the popular houseplants for this spring and some new things that we have. Right now, some of the most popular are philodendrons. So the Birkin philodendron is a really beautiful one. It has this gorgeous white striping on the leaves. And then we also have Prince of Orange. It's really pretty, nice bright orange. And there's a few other varieties. The Macaulay's Finale is going to be more of a red orange. There's Moonlight, which is lime green. And then you've got your trailing philodendrons like the heartleaf. So all of these are really cool, really popular, super easy to take care of. You just have to have kind of bright light, but not direct sun. And the key is just letting the soil dry down before you water them. So they just don't like sitting wet too long. Another really neat one we have right now is the Rhaphidophora. It's also called a mini monstera. This is really neat because it's gonna vine. It's gonna send a really cool straight vine, and you can let it climb up a little post. And these are just absolutely gorgeous. And with maturity, the leaves are gonna get more fenestration, so they get these little holes all through them, and they get really intricate. So it's just a beautiful plant. On the same lines, there is the regular monstera that a lot of people call split leaf, or the deliciosa, which I have trouble saying sometimes. And there's also really big ones. So we have huge ones over here. So if you want to start with a larger size, you can use these. Otherwise, this is kind of a nice size if you want to watch it grow. And again, you would eventually want to stake these. And with maturity, they will get fenestrations. They'll get really more like lacy and a real cut leaf kind of look to them. Super easy to take care of, so I recommend if you're just starting out, try these. Kind of start with that. And there's also some other really cool plants out. There's the Brazil philodendron. This is going to be a trailing one. Has really neat kind of like yellow striping down the center. And then we got some new sansevierias. So this one is called Green Mermaid. It's very vertical. I really like that. It kind of reminds me of more of like the whale fin sansevieria, but it's kind of a skinny vertical version. And they bloom too. So this one's just starting to bloom right here. So that's kind of cool that you can see your sansevieria bloom. I really love the look of this leaf right here. So that's what kind of reminds me of that whale fin sansevieria. Another new variety is Silver Nymph, which is a really nice short one. So if you don't have quite as much space, this might be a good option for you. The great thing about these plants is they can go just about anywhere in your house. So if you don't have great lighting, these can go in those rooms that don't have quite as bright of windows or the lighting's just not as good, because they're very tolerant of a lot of conditions. Again, the key is just don't water them very often. So you might wait 2 or 3 weeks between waterings on these. They have to dry completely out before you water. A couple other new things we have. We got a collection of plants. They're all pre-potted, so they come the plant with the pot. I really like these. They have little sayings on them like boom and zing, kind of like, cute little comic book sayings. So if somebody's really into comic books or pop culture, this is a really great gift, and they have really neat haworthias already planted into them. Again, super easy plants. Succulents don't require a lot of care, just really bright light and occasional watering. They like to be a little on the dry side. So this is a great gift. It's already ready to go. And I just love this one. It's so bright. And then we have a smaller one. These are called yo-yos. So again, like swirly kind of psychedelic look to them, and a nice little haworthia planted in there. Ready to go, cute little gift. Would look great, like on an office desk, or at home on your desk if you're working from home right now. Some of the other things that are really popular right now are the pileas, the UFO plant or Chinese money plant, and then also peperomias. So this one is marble, and this is the UFO plant. And then we have this is red luna peperomia. All of these are really easy to take care of. Again, bright light, no direct sun though, and letting them dry out slightly. And these are all pet safe. So, that's a nice little benefit, because sometimes when you have cats, they're getting into your plants, and you want to make sure that what you have in your house is safe to be around your pets. So all of these are pet safe. Some other pet safe options that we have right now are the Hoyas. And this is a nice little splash Hoya, and this is going to drape and start trailing out of like a hanging basket, be really cute in a macrame. And all of these can bloom. And then the little Hoya heart's kind of a fun one, makes a cute little gift. And then we also have the splash plants. See, again, pet safe. So if you're not sure, if your cat could be getting into your plants, kind of choose pet safe plants to make sure that what you're bringing in is going to be okay around them. These are really great. Add a nice splash of color. Another one that is pet safe is ponytail palm. and he is super easy to take care of. Again, it's a type of succulent, so it'll tolerate bright light and very dry soil. So you really don't have to do a lot of maintenance to keep this alive. And these are very long-lived. They're just really cool. The base kind of gets bigger with age and kind of gets some neat shapes to it. So that's a really neat one. And then the other thing we have right now, since it is March and St. Patrick's Day is here, we've got shamrocks. The purple one's a really cool one if you're a plant collector. A lot of times this is on a lot of collectors' lists. And then we have the traditional green. They're really neat because these will bloom in your house. You know, as long as they're kind of near a window and they're getting good lighting, they'll bloom consistently. And then you can put them outside in your annual containers in a shady or, you know, maybe morning sun location, and these will continue to bloom all summer. And they add just kind of a different texture to your containers. So this would be a really nice addition. Get it now as a houseplant, and then in May or June, you're gonna plant it outside in your annual containers. Then the last thing I'm gonna talk about is when you're working with your houseplants inside is to make sure that you're using appropriate soils and that we're monitoring for pests and insects and fertilizing properly. So when you're repotting your houseplants, you wanna make sure you're using the appropriate soil. This is where your plant's gonna live. And you know, your plant's fully dependent on you and your house, so you wanna make sure you're giving it the best conditions that you can. So if you're planting succulents, say you're gonna replant this ponytail palm, you would want to get the cactus and succulent mix. So this is really well draining, and you know, it's got the right pH for these plants. It's also labeled for citrus and palms, because again, those plants want really well draining soil. So I would recommend getting this if you're using something that needs to be on the dry side and have great drainage. Or, you know, there is an all-purpose version of this, but I also like the African violet version because this one is labeled for African violets and all houseplants. It's a very fine, kind of very loose mix so that your more delicate houseplants can root out into it without you know, much problems. So it's not gonna get compacted or anything like that. So this is a really great one if you're just doing a few small houseplants. I'd recommend trying this. I think that you'll be really happy with the results. And right now, a lot of us have houseplants inside. You know, it's too cold to be putting them out yet. So, you know, we may be seeing things like gnats or, you know, spotting on the leaves because our plants have been inside for a few months. And, you know, sometimes it's gloomy, they're not getting as much light. So we kind of have to monitor for some different problems. So I would recommend picking up a bottle of neem. And what you'll want to do with this is if you see any gnats or anything flying around, spray the top of the soil real well and let this kind of penetrate down into the top couple inches of the soil. And it will help to control those fungus gnats flying around. Make sure your plants are drying out sufficiently, that they're not sitting in, you know, little trays of water, and make sure that the soil dries out pretty thoroughly for most of your plants. If you use a lot of this, if you have a lot of houseplants, the best way to go is to get the concentrate. This is what I use at home, and I just have an empty spray bottle, or I have an empty one of these, that I will put about a cap full of this in the bottle and fill it the rest of the way with room temperature water, shake it up real good and spray my plants. So you can use this as often as once a week if you're having a lot of issues with your plants. If there's spots on the leaves, you're seeing gnats, you're seeing any white cottony material, anything like that, I would recommend go ahead and spraying your plants. Or if you're not sure, bring a sample down here to us and we can help you identify if that's, you know, if this is the right treatment for you. But I do like neem oil because it treats such a wide range of issues. So it's kind of my all-purpose go-to. So that's one I definitely recommend you picking up. Now, you want to make sure you're fertilizing your houseplants too. So over the winter, sometimes we cut back on fertilizing, but right now the days are getting longer, we're starting to get more light, so you want to start fertilizing. This is my favorite, this is Jack's, and this is the Houseplant Special. So I recommend getting this, it's easy to use. So basically you open it up, there's a powder in there and a little measuring scoop, and you'll put that into your watering can, and you could do this as often as, you know, at least twice a month during the growing season would be appropriate. Just make sure you're measuring correctly. And if you are going to be fertilizing cactus and succulents, sometimes you want to dilute it down a little bit further. They don't like quite as strong of a fertilizer, so you can actually use less of this, but still fertilize them. They still need those nutrients. And then the last thing to keep in mind is, since we are in mid-March, it's time to start seeds. So right now the appropriate things to be starting seeds would be like your peppers and tomatoes, some squash would be okay, and just make sure you're choosing the correct seeds for what you're trying to accomplish. So on your seed packets, it does say on there how long it takes to germinate and how many weeks ahead of time you should plant this. This one says that you should start these inside 6 weeks before you're gonna put it outside. So if we're gonna plant these outside in May, we wanna get this started in March. So just keep that in mind. Right now, the selection of seeds is really good. I would recommend picking up your seeds and starting some of your seeds right now in March so that things are ready to go when it's nice out in May. Get it while the selection is good. So thank you very much. If you guys have any questions about houseplants, be sure to come see.
Hi guys, it's Chrissy with Glasshouse Market, which is located within Knoyer Garden Center. Last year was our first year of kind of opening the gift shop up year-round, so we kind of made it its own little entity with inside Knoyer Garden Center. Now we have belongings that aren't just for the outside of your home, but now for the inside of your home. We've got tons of pottery items, little like unicorn planters, llama planters. We've got little drafts back here, which Michelle talked about her huge stock of houseplant pottery. So all of these will work great for them. These are super cute. I love them. They come in 2 different sizes and they have the little legs on them. We've seen a huge uprise with houseplants. So we are stocked full of houseplant pottery. For your home, we've got fun pillows. I love this one. It has the peace sign on it. Just fun patterns, bright colors. We've got great wall art. Decorate your home, just everything throughout your whole home. Fun blankets. Down here, I love these. These are placemats, so for your kitchen. So kind of think outside the box and not just about outside your home and your garden, but also inside of your home. Over this way, these are one of my favorite planters. Little watermelon planter. They do look really nice if you put like red petunias or something like that in it. I love those. Even these red lanterns, you can put these on your back patio. What else? You can walk over this way. Another area over here, it's kind of my favorite area. So all of these colors over here are really on trend. A lot of terracotta, your neutrals, like your Aztec, kind of southern feel here. We've got some purses. So it's not just home decor, we've got things just for yourself and some great gifts. We did our first macrame class last weekend, or I guess 2 weekends ago. Really successful, so we've got tons of macrame, which is really on trend right now. We will be having another macrame class coming up in April, I believe mid-April. So keep an eye out for that, and thanks.